I'm Tammy Beilstein. Welcome to Tammy's Window on Calaveras. I have with me tonight DeeDee Drake and her furry friend Finnegan.
Yes,
right?
This is Finnegan.
He is so cute. And DeeDee is from the Calaveras Humane Society, and we are going to talk about your new building.
Our new shelter, our first ever.
We want to talk about the thrift store. We want to talk about how to adopt a pet.
You bet.
All kinds of stuff. So where do you want to start?
Well, our biggest news right now is that we are going to have a shelter for the very first time.
I can't believe it's the first time.
It is. It will actually be Calaveras County's first nonprofit animal shelter.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's already Calaveras County Animal Services in San Andreas.
Right.
And for a number of years, we've worked right next to them with our programs and services, but it's their shelter. And so...
I've been out there before, and in my head, I always think that you guys are the same.
Everybody
some do
does.
one thing, some do another, but that it's the same place.
It's not.
What makes you guys different?
We are primarily, well, right now before our shelter opens, programs and services. So we're help with spaying and neutering, veterinary assistance for senior citizens, different programs and services that enhance the lives of people and pets.
Okay. And so you guys were sharing a space?
Yes, we were in a portable building on their campus.
Yeah, right. And now you have a brand new place.
We do. We have a brand new, new to us, but with a long and historied building.
Okay.
It has quite an interesting background. It was originally a farmhouse, and then it was, I believe some real Calaveras old-timers would know it as the Chicken Shack.
Oh, funny.
Which was, I guess, a steak and chicken joint.
Okay.
There was a woman who came into our office a while back and heard that we had bought the building, and she said, she was probably in her, I would guess, 80s or 90s.
Right.
And she said, oh, you're moving into the Chicken Shack building. And she said, I remember it, but I wasn't allowed to go there. She said, good girls didn't go to the Chicken Shack.
Oh, really?
Apparently there was, some kind of a juke joint.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And most recently,
be fun to look that out.
Yeah, it would. It would. In fact, if there's any amateur historians out there who'd like to help us with the history, we'd love to know.
I hope I don't see any of these guys' pictures there. When we go to look that up,
there could
we're doing
be.
Our research.
And who knows what we're going to find in the walls. But it's under renovation right now, and we're completely redoing it. For a while, it was Angels Camp Veterinary Hospital.
Oh, really?
And most recently, it was chiropractic offices and a vodka distillery.
At the same time?
Uh-huh. Yeah, very interesting building. You bet.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What kind of interesting things besides the dogs will you be bringing there?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. But we're going to have our very first shelter. We will be able to provide adoptable cats and dogs. Okay. And we also have a very small room that we're dedicating to the very small animals like rabbits,
like
guinea pigs. Chickens, I guess, yeah. If somebody had, chickens they needed to rehome.
You said rabbits and guinea pigs?
Yeah.
I didn't realize you had animals like that. Did I? Did I know that?
Well, we don't now because we don't have a shelter.
Oh, okay.
But we have kind of done some surveys among the community, and there is an interest in adopting them. And so whether we receive them from the public or not, we can always transfer in from other overcrowded shelters in Northern California.
Oh, nice. Okay.
If they're having a hard time placing some of theirs, they could come to our shelter.
How cool.
Yeah.
So how big is this new shelter of yours?
A whopping 4,000 square feet. It's big to us,
big.
but yeah, it's 4,000 square feet, and we are making use of every square inch of it.
Oh, how neat.
So there's not one little bit of wasted space in our design.
Do you have outside areas there also?
Yeah, it's really neat the way we're working it. On one side of the building, the dogs inside will have what we're calling suites. They're not kennels, they're not chain link, there's no bars at our shelter.
Oh, wow.
And so they're having these rather nice suites with glass windows and glass doors.
How cool.
And we can kind of make it like a little home-like setting for them. It helps them feel much more secure when they're in a shelter.
Yeah.
And it also makes the public feel more welcomed. It's not the traditional sort of, dog jail that you sometimes see at shelters that can't afford to do what we're doing.
Well, it's nice to imagine when you go in there, to imagine this dog in a home.
And it makes it easier to think of that when you see them in a sort of home-like environment.
For some reason, it looks like this sounds so immature, but like they've done something horrible when they're behind those bars.
Exactly,
there.
It's not their fault.
Right.
Right. And are you relaxing, Finnegan? And it's certainly, I wish that every shelter could afford to do what we're doing. We had some very generous donations that are enabling us to kind of go that extra mile with our design. And so each of those will be connected to a dog door that will go to an outside kennel for each dog.
Oh, okay.
And we'll be able to control their access so they can only go out there like during business hours when we're there.
Right.
The rest of the time they'll be inside.
How many dogs can you keep there?
Well, that will vary depending on the size of the dogs. So if we have a number of small dogs, we could, add 2 or 3 to a dog suite. So we could have anywhere from, say, 5 to 15 dogs at a time.
Okay.
Probably,
Okay.
and we're going to try to keep the numbers down so that each animal has plenty of space, gets lots of attention.
Yeah.
So
if someone so off the top of my head, I'm thinking of say we have had hospice patients who, because they are so ill, they cannot care for their pet anymore. Are you the place that they would contact, or do they?
I would say not. And the reason for that is that we don't have yet set up an extensive fostering network for that type of thing. It wouldn't be, you wouldn't want to board your beloved pet long term like in a shelter type environment.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean to board, but to say I can't
rehome their pet.
I can't care for them anymore, and
yes,
I need to give it to someone else.
Absolutely. Thoughtful rehoming is what our shelter will be about.
Neat.
And so we're not going to be the place where somebody at the last minute says, "Oh my goodness, I'm moving tomorrow and I've got 6 pets."
Okay.
We're not going to have room on that kind of basis. What we're going to be is what's called a managed admission shelter, which means that we're very much controlling the intake and the outflow, and giving a lot of thought to when it's the right time to bring in another animal. So somebody, if they have, say, a dog or a cat that they need to find a new home for, they will come to us and make an appointment, so that and we'll tell them, we'll get a lot of information about your pet. What kind is it? What does it like? Does it get along with other pets? Does it like kids? All these things that they can tell us. And then we may not have room at that moment.
Okay.
So we'll give them lots of tips on, in the meantime, you can be looking yourself to help try to rehome your pet, but we will call you when we have space.
Okay.
And so, it's not, I always hate when people use the phrase getting rid of. I have to get rid of my dog, get rid of. We're not going to be the getting rid of place, not the place that you can go to at the last minute and just say
drop
here.
them off. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be, it sounds very Gwyneth Paltrow, but thoughtful rehoming of pets, Well, remember her thoughtful uncoupling, conscious uncoupling. That was it. She didn't divorce. She consciously uncoupled.
Right. Oh, lovely. Yeah.
So, it's not, but it's not the place where you can do it quickly. It's with a lot of thought. And managed admission, when you are able to, as a nonprofit shelter, is a wonderful way to go.
Yeah.
Whereas our county's animal services shelter, they have to accept strays. That's one of their functions as a government shelter. And so if there's a pack of dogs running loose in Copperopolis, and they get brought to animals, they have to take those. And so they don't have the luxury that we will have to control their population intake.
If you have a dog for, say, 6 months and it doesn't find a home, what happens to it?
We will absolutely keep them as long as it takes to find them a home.
Aww.
And and some I've worked in sheltering for over 20 years, and I remember some I've gotten very attached to over the years. In the shelters I've worked at, who were there for 6 weeks, 6 months, 9 months, even as long as a year in a couple cases.
Aww.
But when it starts getting really long term like that, you start getting very proactive. You start doing getting some media attention, getting out there, letting the public know, because this animal is right for somebody.
Yeah.
And it's your responsibility as the shelter to find that somebody.
Oh, that's so neat.
So you start getting real active with that animal, and because they don't want to live at the shelter permanently.
Right.
As happy as they may seem in some cases, that's not the right. They want to be home.
Yeah, their own family.
Yeah. And so it's our job as a shelter to find that home.
Yeah. So what happens when someone decides they want a pet and they come to your place and say they were to pick Finnegan? And,
yes.
What happens on that end? They fill out an application, I'm sure. And what kind of
we're all
background
about
work
the conversation.
You do?
We want to talk with them and just find out about their lifestyle, their current pets, and just what their expectations are. We want to help match them with the right animal.
Okay.
So by keeping our population small, we will know our pets.
Right.
And so when someone starts telling us what they're looking for, we're already thinking, okay, I've got a couple to show you.
Are you able to do background checks? Are expensive, but are you able to do background checks on the families or?
No, and here's there's kind of a newer thinking in animal sheltering that's gone away from that.
Okay.
Some shelters and a lot of rescue groups kind of got a reputation for being very hard to adopt from.
Okay.
They would feel interrogated. They would go down and they'd just be subjected to all these questions and have to provide references and home checks and just all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it puts barriers up.
Yeah.
Makes adopting hard. And that's not what you want. You want people to adopt from shelters and rescues. And so the more current thinking on that is to, to think beyond your animals at your shelter or rescue, and know that if somebody's looking for a pet, they're going to find one. And and if you make it hard for them to adopt from you, or if you deem them unworthy because of some personal bias you have or something they said wrong,
they'll still find one somewhere
else. They're going to go get another pet.
You're right.
And wouldn't it be better if they adopted one of yours that's spayed and neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, and comes with your full support behind it?
Wow.
You're there for questions. You're there for the life of the animal, for help, assistance, guidance.
You are?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
If somebody adopts from us and they've got perhaps a behavior issue going on, or questions, or just something that's come up, we're there to offer resources. We can't help you train your dog per se.
Right.
We don't have a behavior person on staff, but we can give you resources that we found, people you can call, places you can go.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
And it's the same for the cats and
absolutely,
for everything.
Absolutely,
Wow.
down to the rats and mice.
Wow, that's really neat.
Yeah,
that's a huge bonus that they're getting.
It is
way better than going to get a pet in a shopping cart outside of the grocery store.
I always tell people that free animal that they picked up outside the big box store that someone was giving away, puppies or kittens, free.
Yeah.
If they adopt from us, like right now we're having a special for kitten adoptions at our thrift store in Arnold. They're only $35.
Yeah, and they're spayed and neutered.
Spayed and neutered, vaccinated, tested negative for feline leukemia and FIV. They are microchipped. They come with a certificate for a free vet check at a lot of participating vets in Calaveras County. Yeah, if you tried to do everything we do for that kitten yourself, it's between $250 and $300.
That's huge. Is that $35 a special price, or is that how much?
It is a special price right now, but actually we've had it all summer long. So
special
summer
all
special.
Summer.
Yep.
Yeah. That's really neat. How much is it to adopt a dog?
We haven't set our prices yet on all of that. We have to decide, because it is a tremendous expense for us, each one, and we're never going to make money on adoptions, and we don't intend to. We know that. But we have to find the right balance for what our community is willing to pay versus what will help us slightly offset our costs.
Right.
And so we haven't quite determined the final adoption prices, but it will be very affordable.
When you come up with the price, does it matter what sort of dog it is?
No.
It would be the same price.
All dogs are valuable.
Okay.
And so we will not have that's a purebred puppy, or that's a highly designed. No. Dogs cost this much, cats cost that much. Every animal has value.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And it would be the same for the other animals you'd have taken
Yes,
in.
we will have a standard price for whatever kind of animal it is, whatever species it is, we'll have a price.
That is really cool. So you said you guys are a nonprofit.
Yes, we are.
So what kinds of things do you need to keep yourselves up and running? Because our hospice is a nonprofit, and I know we are always looking for
We
ways to
appreciate
fund.
every donation. We had a pre-kindergarten student who came in not too long ago, and he had been doing chores for his grandparents and his mom, and collecting all the nickels, dimes, and quarters that they gave him. He collected them all summer, and now he's about to go into kindergarten, and he came in to donate.
Oh, that's
and so
sweet.
his $3.80 donation is just as valuable to us as someone's larger check.
That is so neat.
Yeah, I love seeing community involvement at that age.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So every donation counts. And so what we always need money.
Yeah.
We will need volunteers at our new shelter. So it doesn't have to be a cash donation. You can give from your time, your time and from your heart.
Yeah.
So
that's always needed.
Yes.
That's always needed. What are the hours of your new place?
We are going to be open when we open, which is not till the end of the year.
Okay.
We will be open Wednesday through Sunday from 11 to 5. We decided to be open both weekend days because that's when people can come adopt.
Yeah.
So we want to be available for when people can come get animals.
Well, what I'm thinking is it's also a great time for volunteers because
yes, it is.
A lot of times the weekends are when they have the extra time.
Yeah, people
to go
work,
and
and come on, they'll be able to sign up and go through a little training and, sign some paperwork and volunteer and, improve the.
Yeah.
I always think the volunteers are there to improve the lives of the animals.
Yeah.
The staff is there to meet their needs. They will be cleaned up after, fed, vaccinated, all of that. But the volunteers are the quality of life.
Yeah.
They're the ones who take the time to cuddle that
petting,
shy dog or spend some time with a laser toy and a bunch of kittens.
Right. We have a Great Dane who loves the laser toy. Oh my gosh.
Yes, they can.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
That is so neat. And I already can think of some little kids in our home who would love to volunteer just to point a laser
Yes.
for the animals to chase.
We haven't quite set our parameters for having children volunteer
Yeah.
because it will obviously have to be accompanied by an adult.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But we haven't set like a minimum age yet.
Yeah.
But we do plan to have one of those reading to pets programs.
Oh, how neat.
It improves literacy in kids, and it's very soothing to the shelter pets.
I love
and
that.
the way our shelter will be set up, we're going to have a large communal room for some of the cats.
Yeah.
With lots of windows and a couple couches to sit in, and you can go in there, read to the cats, or sit outside the glass door in the dog room and read to one of the dogs.
So cool.
Yeah.
That is such a great idea. Now, speaking of different personalities of the animals.
Yes.
Tell me about this guy. Look, he's sleeping.
He is. He's
I hope
sound
you guys
asleep.
can see him. He's asleep on the couch.
He's had a busy day at the office. He's in training to be our greeter. My senior pug, who I've had on your show previously, is teaching him the ropes, and he's wiped out.
He does not have stage fright.
No, but he is very shy. Big stretch. I actually adopted Finnegan just about 2.5 weeks ago. I haven't had him long. And I got him from a wonderful group in Sonora called Friends of the Animal Community.
Yeah.
And they have a little adoption center in Sonora that is absolutely adorable.
Oh, wow.
And so welcoming, and a wonderful place to adopt a dog or a cat.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, how did he end up over there? Do you know?
He and a group of other Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, I think there were 7 or 8 of them. A breeder had them and did not have time for them, and they were very unsocialized, very shy, very fearful, afraid of new situations.
Aww.
She was persuaded by somebody to surrender them to find new homes for them.
I'm glad she did.
Yeah, and so he's very shy and fearful. Not with me anymore, fortunately.
Yeah. Oh, not at all.
And he's learning the ropes from my senior pug, who's showing him that going to the office is super fun.
Yeah.
And sleeping on the bed is a good thing. And
So is he going to be your
yes,
pet?
yes.
Okay.
I have wanted a dog of this breed for probably over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And just the time was right. So
I'm so glad. Well, I'm glad you let everyone know he's your pet because you'll probably be getting a lot of calls.
Yes.
I want this sleeping dog on the couch.
yeah, but we've
so
been in
cute.
touch with the community about what they'd like to see in our shelter.
Yeah.
We put out a survey asking people what breeds are popular here, and because we're going to be able to do a little bit of transferring in from other shelters in just throughout Northern California, and if we
Cool.
know certain things are popular here that aren't popular there, we've gotten a big response for herding breeds.
Oh,
a lot of people want
I bet.
cattle dogs, and and they have the space for them out here.
Yeah.
And I've been in touch with a couple of shelters in very urban areas who are like, we can't place them
Yeah.
here. Nobody wants them eating their apartment or destroying their suburban backyard.
Right.
And so we can do a little negotiating here, and we can move the pets to a place like Calaveras where they're welcome.
That totally makes sense. Who pays for that?
We would.
Okay.
You
With
know.
more donations that you get, you pay for the transportation of the
yeah,
animals?
but
Okay.
we would hopefully have a volunteer network set up to do some driving for us, and we can reimburse them for mileage. And
That's really neat.
Yeah.
It's always so weird to me, the stuff that happens behind the scenes that I never would even think about. And there's always so much going on back there.
Depending on the shelter you go to, your future pet took a long journey to get there.
Right.
They are actually like in the northeast of the United States, like all the New England states.
Yeah.
They have kind of spayed and neutered themselves out of puppies and kittens in shelters.
Gosh.
It's a great thing unless you're wanting to adopt one
Yeah.
from a shelter or rescue.
Yeah.
But someone said, hey, here in the deep south, we're crawling with them. And they have actually set up these wonderful transportation systems, moving them out of one area where they'd probably be euthanized up to where they're absolutely just snapped up immediately in New England.
You get their own new little home.
Yeah.
That is
So who would
neat.
guess, though, if you're in a shelter in, say, Massachusetts,
Yeah.
that your dog came to you from Tennessee?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I would never even think that happens. What if someone who has a love of a certain breed of animal comes to you and you don't have it? Do you contact other shelters, or you just tell them how to
We
find?
would certainly keep it in mind as we're negotiating with other shelters and saying, hey, we've got some space. What do you have any dogs that are possibly in danger of being put down? Would you like to do some transfers? We'll certainly keep in mind what people have asked us for. If they say like, well, we have these 6 dogs, and we say, well, I know I can place 4 of those in a heartbeat. But we will also be able to provide people with info, or Google is their friend.
Yeah.
Rescue groups exist for virtually every breed of dog and cat.
Right.
And so if you have your heart set on something in particular, you can usually find a rescue group of a volunteer-run nonprofit that specializes in that particular breed.
Yeah.
So that
I'm
can be
sure
a
you're
great
right. I
option.
have some older friends who live further up in the hills, and their internet sucks.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
So someone like them would probably want to come and talk with you or call you on the phone to,
Yes.
to ask you those
Yeah, and we're
questions
happy
those
to help.
things.
We don't care where people get their pet.
Yeah.
Just, just get it responsibly.
Right.
Get it from a shelter or a rescue or a responsible breeder, and, it's all a good thing.
Are you guys the group? I remember I did a show so many years ago, many years ago, and they were showing me that they had younger kids, teenagers who would come in and maybe they would adopt like a group of kittens in their home until they found a home.
Oh, foster care.
The foster care,
Yeah.
is that something that
we
you
do
guys?
tremendous foster care because right now we don't have a shelter.
Yeah.
We're going to. So we've adopted out dozens and dozens and dozens of kittens this year, and it's all because of our foster volunteers.
Okay.
We take these kittens in, they go into foster care with somebody. Some of them have to be bottle raised. We've had some orphaned kittens or kittens that were literally dumped by people at a couple days old. And most recently, actually, it happened at the San Andreas Deo.
Really?
In their parking lot, someone dumped newborn kittens. They saw a human do it, so it's not like a mama cat put them there.
Yeah.
But the baristas at that hut gave us a call. We had a foster home who said absolutely. She's been bottle raising them.
Wow.
And they now have coffee-themed names, and they're doing well.
Cute.
So
even after you open your shelter, you'll still keep that
we
program
will still,
going?
yes, because
Okay.
some of those animals you don't want raised in a shelter. Like bottle babies need attention around the clock.
Sure. Oh, right.
And
right.
so,
Okay.
and very young kittens, a home environment is always preferable to a shelter.
Yeah.
So we will have our foster volunteers for the underage animals,
Okay.
absolutely, or for any animal that's sick or injured and needs some time to recuperate.
Okay. And that would be dogs or cats or any of the other animals that you mentioned.
Definitely.
How does someone get involved in that? Do they take classes first?
We'll have some extensive training for people. We're going to need tons of volunteers. So starting in about December, if anybody is interested, they should probably visit our website, calaverashumane.org, sign up for our e-newsletter there, and also follow us on Facebook because we're always, every day, we always say great pet stuff served fresh daily.
Oh, cute.
On our Facebook.
And on Facebook, it's just Calaveras Humane Society.
Yes,
on
that's all
Facebook.
they need to look for. And we'll be recruiting volunteers. We'll offer training and support. When you foster pets for us, we pay for everything.
Oh.
We provide you with food. We provide you with all the medical care.
Wow.
You go to some of our, different vets that we contract with to support our foster animals. You have to be willing to take them in to be spayed and neutered, but all of that's at our expense.
Okay.
You're providing the love.
That's
the
neat.
love and the time. And you
that's
bring them
neat.
back when they're ready to be adopted, and off they go.
Is there like an average amount of time that people end up keeping the pets when they
Depends on how
foster
old they
them?
are when they get them. If you're
Okay.
getting newborn kittens,
Yeah.
that's probably about a 2.5-month commitment. But we get
Okay.
some that come in at 5-6 weeks old. They just need 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They need to get to 8 weeks and 2 pounds to be spayed and neutered.
Oh my gosh.
So
you don't have to be a stay-at-home person to
certainly
be
not
a
with the
foster
older
parent.
kittens like that. If you're doing
Okay.
bottle babies, it's really ideal if you
Yeah.
can take them to work with you or if you're home all the
Okay.
time. But the older kittens, all you need is a spare bathroom.
Yeah.
And they need a couple hours of your attention, maybe,
Aw.
half an hour here, an hour there, and they're good.
My kids would both, they would both love to do that. They are such animal people.
It's a terrific community service project for kids. A lot of the
Yeah.
schools require that. And the way that
great
I
idea.
personally calculate it is if you're a foster home, we'll give you 30 minutes of credit per animal in the litter per day.
Per
So
animal per day. Okay.
Foster 4 kittens, you've got 2 hours of community service per day that you have them. Your whole
Nice.
obligation is met.
Yeah. Oh, that's great
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Do you guys do any fundraisers for your place
We don't
there?
have like any big, we don't have a big event each year,
Okay.
at least not yet,
Yeah.
that type of thing. We do a couple of big mailings each year to every resident of Calaveras County. Those
Okay.
people have been wonderfully supportive
Great,
with those.
great.
We have a couple of key supporters who made the whole project possible through like a bequest. People put us in
Yeah.
their will. We have a special program for that. It's our Pet Guardian program.
Oh.
If somebody is concerned that they may pass away before their pets, they enroll in our program, and they have to make what they consider to be a significant contribution in their will.
Okay.
We don't specify an amount, whatever is meaningful to them.
Okay.
And and then we agree that in return, if they pass away, and and they have to say in their will that their pet goes to us.
Okay.
And we will take that animal and find them a new
Aw.
home.
That is really neat.
Yeah. So it's a great way to
Wow.
plan ahead. You never know.
You're making me, well, I'm thinking of our hospice work. That's really great to know. I'm going to be passing that along.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah. And that information can be found on your website.
Absolutely, under our Pet Guardian program.
Okay. And we're going to be doing that. That's most people have pets.
Yes. All the good ones do.
Yeah. And the better ones have multiple. Like in our house, we have quite a few. That is so neat. What made you want to do this kind of work?
I have always just, adored the animals in my life. They're very important to me. I wasn't quite sure after college. I was an English major, and that doesn't prepare you for a lot. But I was planning to teach, and I was actually almost enrolled in a credential program, and there was a job opening at the San Francisco SPCA. I lived in the Bay Area at the time. And I thought, you know what, I'll do this. Yeah. I want to put off school for another semester. I'm just going to do this for a little while and have fun. And it's 22 years later, and I haven't stopped.
Oh my gosh.
It's just I got lucky. I found my calling.
That was your calling. Isn't it neat how things work out like that?
Yeah. It is. I love my work, and I get up every day wanting to go to work.
That's so great. And you probably can see it in your volunteers or younger people who come along and work in your place. You probably already you're
you're a lifer.
This is your thing. Yeah. That is so cool. That is so cool. How is your family with you bringing pets over and all that? They all pet lovers?
Yes, they are. Especially, I have two nieces that I'm very, very close to, and one is 9, and she's me with animals.
Oh,
I mean, we both feel very deeply about them.
That's so great.
So
I love it. I'm glad that you do that. I wouldn't be able to do that sort of thing. I love animals, but I'm not home all that much. I'm not so great on wanting to clean a litter box and that sort of thing. But like I was saying, my kids, they love having animals around.
Yeah.
It's
a very enriching experience for a child to grow up with pets.
Yeah. Well, they learn so much. We have 3 little boys that are at our house quite often, and oh my gosh, when they see that we have the new kittens or to come take care of, we have a pig and dogs and things like that.
You're the fun house.
Well, in a lot of ways, that's our place. But yeah, I see how happy they are around the animals, and the pets are happy to be around them. It's just meant to be.
Yeah.
So I love that you do what you do.
Thank you. I love doing what I do.
We have 2 minutes left. Is there anything else that we want to talk about?
We did touch our thrift store.
Thrift store.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a thrift store.
Yes.
We have the best thrift store.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, there's a hospice thrift store.
Can we say we're tied?
Okay. We have the 2 best thrift stores, yours and mine. The Calaveras Humane Society thrift store is up in Arnold.
Okay.
And it is the perfect location for a thrift store. It is totally worth a little afternoon trip.
Yeah.
Some people act like Arnold is the end of the world when, it's like, I'm not going all the way up to Arnold. First, I commute from there every day, and it's no big whoop.
Okay.
It's a beautiful drive. But our thrift store gets amazing merchandise. We get the most incredible donations. Our prices are phenomenal. Everything is priced very affordably, very appropriately.
Cool.
And the pickers haven't found us yet. So you're not competing with all those Bay Area hipsters who come up. We've got mid-century modern furniture.
Wow.
We've got true collectibles and antiques. I mean, it's a really cool place to go.
That is great, because I do have to admit, like around San Andreas and Valley Springs, there's a lot of competition.
Yeah. Not up where we are, at least not yet.
Oh, you got us there.
Yeah, there are treasures to be found.
That is great to know. And then all the proceeds go and help the Humane Society.
It's a win-win. You get great stuff, you're helping animals.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Oh, it looks like we are out of time.
Okay.
That happened fast.
Yeah, it did.
Darn it. Thank you for being here, and thank you for bringing Finn again.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us back.
He's so lively.
Yes. Yeah, super hyper puppy.
Much better than the kittens that we had on here before.
That's what's crazy.
But thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your new place.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time on Tammy's Window on Calaveras.